Okay guys, happy Tuesday. Today I want to talk about a topic that I get so many questions about, and that is on how to live a balanced life. Well, living a balanced life is probably one of my biggest goals in life, yet it's the one that I have the most challenging time with. But I have come out with a system that I feel like lately has been working the best for myself and for my family. So first and foremost, I want to talk about to you moms out there, because I feel like balancing life is the hardest on us moms. But of course, what I'm about to say can go for really anybody, but I just wanted to share just one little glimpse into this in regards to mom life. So when you are on a plane, the flight attendant will ask you to always put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then put it on your baby. The reason is because they want to make sure that you're okay so that you can actually help your baby if the time comes and that's needed. The same analogy I apply to life for all moms, and that is that you always have to make sure you're okay before you can make sure you're a great mom. Often we get so caught up in wanting to be a good mom that we forget about ourselves. But unfortunately what happens is that with time, resentment will pile up, and we may not be able to be the best version of ourselves that we want to be, and that is our goal for our kids. So I always say, tend to yourself and make sure you don't forget yourself. So now we go into living a balanced life for everybody. I think that the first and foremost important thing on the list should be self-care. How much self-care and how, and all these questions come into play. Well, I understand if you are a mom, you can't always spend time on yourself, but there is always a way of creating that self-care time, even if it is with your baby there. So what is self-care? Self-care is when you are spending some time for yourself. There is so many different versions of self-care. You could consider getting a massage. You could consider working out, going for a walk, getting a facial, having coffee with a friend. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it is what you feel like you need in this phase in your life. So for me right now, what is really important is making sure that I do a 1 hour workout, whatever it could be, either it's a walk or weight training or running, something for myself. That 1 hour for me is my self-care. But that's during the week. Then I make sure I have a different kind of a self-care during the weekend. I make sure that I have 1 hour of just laying around in bed being lazy, and I usually ask my husband to take the girls to tennis. It's actually interesting because I had put a post saying my husband takes the girls to tennis, and I got so many DMs saying, well, why don't you go with them? Reason why is because I want to make sure that I am having some calming, peaceful time to myself to process and to think and just be relaxed. And as much as I love my kids, I obviously can't go into that mental place where I want to go with two kids, either playing or screaming or laughing or fighting. So that's how I create that time for myself. So we have self-care. Then we have either you have a work life or you have a stay-at-home wife or mom life, right? So regardless, we have chores, we have things to do. So the way I really try to go about that is I make sure that I have a good balance between my working hours in the day and my break hours. So for break for lunch, break for dinner, and I think any type of a job that you have, you are capable of doing that. What gets complicated is for women that are stay-at-home moms and how to break away from the kids for a tiny little break. Well, that's when I say use the iPad, use the TV. That is what it is for. So of course not a ton of it, but for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, put them in front of the iPad, put their favorite show on, and make sure that you are having lunch and dinner peacefully and able to enjoy it. So it's really important to have a good time for breaks during your day from your chores. And then we go into social life. Okay, so now you have the self-care, you have the working hours with breaks, and then social life. How much socializing is okay and how much is not? Well, it really depends on what kind of a social creature are you. Are you the type of person that really needs to socialize? I am. If you're not, then that's totally fine. But if you are, it's important to make sure that you're having enough time socializing and getting that out of your system, so to speak. So for me, I always make sure once or twice a week I'm out with my girlfriends or with couples, and I am able to have that fun for myself. Now, if you're parents and you have a hard time getting a babysitter, I understand that. So I love coupling up with other couples that have children. My husband and I do that often because you're still getting to socialize and the kids are getting to play, and you're able to do it that way. Now, there is another part that comes into living a balanced life in regards to socializing, and that is overwhelming yourself with too much socializing, which used to be me. I used to be out and about every other day, coffee, lunch. Somehow in my crazy busy work schedule, I was managing it, and it was really giving me a lot of anxiety. So I have learned to say no. I really try to manage my weeks so that I go out twice a week and that's it, and the rest of it I'm working and I'm spending time with my kids and I am in my home. So really having a good balance between saying yes and saying no, and having a written calendar where you are basically promising yourself that, okay, 2 times out of the week or whatever seems fair for you in regards to the way you like to socialize, it's different for everybody, that you are saying yes and you're saying no, regardless of what the event is. And I have come to really understand how special that is and the importance of that. And other than that, we have spending time with children, doing their homework and all of that. So what I do is, again, even with that, I give myself a certain amount of time. I tell Sophia, that who's in 4th grade, I have to work with her, you have an hour and 45 minutes of my time every day to utilize for your homework. So everything in my day is kind of on a consistent schedule during the week. And so I'm getting my workout in, I am working, I'm spending an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes with my kids. But of course I'm lucky because I have someone who can help me. So if you are someone that has children and doesn't have much help, this is a completely different conversation and it's different for you. So don't feel obligated to be able to work and, you know, help your kid with her homework and all of that. It's different for you guys. This is for somebody who is a working mom and who does have the ability to have somebody else help them. If you don't have someone to help you and if you have kids, I think it's really important to get your husband to help you. If you are a single mom, to have a system into place where you can somehow make sure you get a little bit of alone time for yourself. But really, balance is about finding what works for you. So having a schedule that for you, it seems it's not too overwhelming, it's not too boring. So balance is really a personal thing for each person. And I think that we often look at other people and we think that I want to have her kind of balance. And what I have come to realize, it's so personal. And we put so much pressure on ourselves trying to keep up with other people's balance. Yet we have different lifestyles. So always try to keep that in mind, that your lifestyle is different than the person next to you's lifestyle and your balance is personal to you. And that's it. Thanks for listening.